He was dead wrong about me. I already owned everything he thought he'd inherit. But let me start from the beginning. My name is Elena Martinez, and for 15 years, I wore two faces. To my husband Derek and his insufferable mother, I was just a struggling waitress at Bella Vista, a high-end Italian restaurant in San Francisco's financial district. To the tech world, I was the anonymous founder of Fresh Table, a food supply chain platform that would eventually be valued at $50 million. Derek never knew. How could he? He never asked about my work beyond the occasional condescending comment. "How many tables did you serve today, honey?" he'd say, scrolling through his phone while I set dinner on the table. His mother, Patricia, was worse. She'd visit our modest townhouse in Daly City and inspect everything like a health inspector looking for violations. I don't know why Derek settled for so little. She'd whisper loud enough for me to hear. Madison Henderson's daughter is single now. Her father owns half the investment firms in the Bay Area. I met Derek at San Jose State University 20 years ago. He was charming then, ambitious, studying business management. I was in computer science, working 3 part-time jobs to afford tuition. He loved that I was a fighter, or so he said. After graduation, we married in a small courthouse ceremony. His mother didn't attend. Things changed slowly, like fog rolling in from the Pacific. Derek got a job as a manager at Henderson Capital Group, and suddenly, money became his god. He'd compare his salary to mine, his position to my waitressing, his potential to my dead-end job. But here's what he didn't know. I wasn't just waitressing. I was field researching. Every night at Bella Vista, I watched the chaos. Orders mixed up, inventory wasted, suppliers unreliable. I saw restaurant owners tearing their hair out over profit margins. So during my days off, I coded. I built Fresh Table in my home office while Derek thought I was sleeping in after late shifts. I pitched to angel investors while he thought I was at work. I networked with tech executives who dined at Bella Vista while serving their pasta carbonara. By year 10 of our marriage, Fresh Table had 40 restaurant clients. By year 12, 200. By year 15, we'd expanded to supply chain logistics for grocery stores, meal kit services, and corporate cafeterias. My salary as CEO? $1.5 million annually, not counting stock options. I kept it secret for one reason. I wanted to know who Derek really was. Would he love me if I stayed poor? The answer came sooner than I expected. 3 months ago, Derek started staying late at the office. His mother's visits increased. She'd sit in my living room, sipping tea I made, listing Madison Henderson's accomplishments. She has her MBA from Stanford, you know, and she's so beautiful. Derek used to have such a crush on her in college. I wasn't stupid. I checked his phone one night while he showered. The messages were all there. "Can't wait to leave her," he'd texted Madison. "Just need to time it right. My lawyer says I shouldn't leave until I secure the house." Madison's response: "Daddy says you're brilliant. He's grooming you for VP. We'll be set." I photographed everything. Then I did something unexpected. I contacted Richard Henderson, Madison's father and Derek's boss. Not as Derek's wife, as the CEO of Fresh Table, the company Henderson Capital Group had been trying to acquire for 6 months. "Miss Martinez," Richard said during our video call, "your platform is exactly what our portfolio needs. Name your price." $50 million, I said, "but I have one condition." The betrayal came on a Tuesday evening. I'd worked a genuine shift at Bella Vista that day, something I did monthly to stay connected to the industry. I came home exhausted, my feet aching, smelling of garlic and tomato sauce. Derek sat on the couch with his mother, both of them looking at me like I'd tracked mud through the house. "We need to talk," Derek said. I set my purse down. "About what?" Patricia sniffed the air dramatically. "Do you always come home smelling like a kitchen?" "I work in a restaurant, Patricia." "Exactly my point," she said, turning to Derek. "Tell her." Derek stood, straightening his tie. Even at home, he wore his stupid work uniform like armor. "Elena, this isn't working. Our marriage, I mean. We want different things." "Different things?" I kept my voice steady. "I need someone who matches my ambition. Someone who understands the world I'm building." "Madison and I—" "Madison Henderson?" I interrupted. His face reddened. "You knew?" "I've known for 3 months, Derek. I'm not blind." Patricia stood, her face triumphant. Then you understand, this is for the best. Derek is meant for greater things than a waitress wife. Madison's father is making him vice president. They're in love. You should be happy for him. I looked at my husband. This man I'd supported through business school applications he never submitted. This man whose shirts I'd ironed every morning for 15 years. This man who'd never once asked what I did on my laptop at night. "Where are my things?" I asked quietly. Derek pointed to 2 suitcases by the door. "I packed already. You need to be out tonight. Madison is pregnant, and we're getting married in 3 months. My lawyer will send divorce papers tomorrow." "Tonight?" Something cold settled in my chest. "You want me out tonight?" "The sooner, the cleaner," Patricia said. "Derek is being generous, really. He could have you removed by police for trespassing." "Trespassing? This is my house too." Derek laughed. It was an ugly sound. "Your house?" "Elena, let's be honest. You make what, 30,000 a year? 40? Meanwhile, I'm pulling in 180 as a manager, about to be VP at 300,000 base. I've paid for everything. The mortgage? The car? The food you eat. This has been my house for years." I picked up my suitcases. Both felt light. He'd packed carelessly. Probably forgot half my things. "You're sure about this?" "Positive," he said. "Take your minimum wage paycheck and find a studio apartment somewhere, maybe get a roommate. I hear servers can't afford Bay Area rent alone." Patricia opened the door for me like a butler dismissing a servant. "Off you go, dear. Don't drag this out." I walked to my car, a 10-year-old Honda Civic Derek always mocked. I loaded my suitcases in the trunk. Then I drove to my real home, a penthouse condo in Soma I'd bought under my LLC 2 years ago. The place Derek didn't know existed. I called my lawyer that night. His name was Marcus Webb, and he'd handled my business contracts for 5 years. "Marcus, remember those divorce papers I had you draft 6 months ago? The ones you said were just in case? File them tomorrow morning, and call Richard Henderson. Tell him I accept his offer with my condition intact." "Are you sure about the condition, Elena? It's harsh." He tried to throw me out like trash, Marcus. While I was exhausted from work, he had his mother there to humiliate me. "Yes, I'm sure." The next 72 hours were a masterpiece of timing. Day 1. Derek received divorce papers at work. Not from his lawyer to me, from my lawyer to him. The papers detailed asset division, my 50% claim on the townhouse, my demand for spousal support given the income disparity he'd always crowed about, my list of marital assets, including his car, his watch collection, his precious golf clubs. He called me 16 times. I didn't answer. Day 2. Henderson Capital Group announced the acquisition of Fresh Table for $50 million. The tech blogs exploded with the news. TechCrunch ran the headline, "Mystery CEO behind Fresh Table finally revealed. Elena Martinez sells platform in landmark deal." The article included my photo from the acquisition press conference. Me in a tailored Armani suit, shaking hands with Richard Henderson. Derek called 32 times. I blocked his number. Day 3. Richard Henderson summoned Derek to his office. I wasn't there, but Richard told me later what happened. He'd slid a folder across his mahogany desk. "Read page 3, Richard had said. Derek read. His face went white. "Termination? The seller had one condition for this acquisition," Richard explained, "that we terminate any employee engaged in ethical violations. Our investigation found you've been using company resources for personal matters. Company phone for personal calls during work hours. Company laptop for personal emails. Company time for personal meetings. That's... everyone does that, perhaps. But everyone isn't married to the woman who just made this company $50 million. Elena Martinez. Your wife, the waitress you've been mocking to my daughter." Derek stood, shaking. "Madison and I are done," Richard said flatly. "Madison was quite clear once she learned who you actually married. She said, and I quote, 'I'm not staying with someone who fumbled a $50 million woman for me. She's already seeing someone else, a venture capitalist, I believe.'" Derek stumbled out of that office with a box of his belongings and no job. No Madison, no future VP position, just a divorce summons and a wife who'd been secretly powerful all along. He found me on day 4. I was at Bella Vista, not working but dining. I'd invited the entire waitstaff to a celebration dinner on me. I just announced I was buying the restaurant as my first post-acquisition investment. Derek burst through the door in a wrinkled shirt, 3 days of stubble on his face. His eyes were wild. "Elena!" The hostess tried to stop him, but I waved her off. Let him through. He reached my table, breathing hard. Your fresh table? You've been rich this whole time?" "Not rich, comfortable." "But yes, I founded and ran Fresh Table while you thought I was just serving pasta. Why didn't you tell me?" His voice cracked. Would it have mattered, Derek? If I'd told you 5 years ago I was building a tech company, would you have supported me? Or would you have mocked me like you mocked everything else I did? He collapsed into the chair across from me. I lost everything. My job, Madison, our house. "My house?" I corrected. "Well, partially. We'll split assets according to California law. I'm sure my lawyer has sent you the details." "Elena, please. We can fix this. I was wrong. I see that now. You're brilliant. You're successful. We can start over. I'll support your company. We'll be a power couple." I sipped my wine. It was a 2015 Barolo, $200 a bottle. "Do you remember 3 nights ago, Derek, when you had your mother there to watch you throw me out? When you made me carry my suitcases to my car alone? When you said I should find a studio apartment and get a roommate? I didn't know." "Exactly. You didn't know. And because you didn't know I had money, you felt entitled to treat me like garbage. That tells me everything about your character." Patricia appeared then, rushing to her son's side. Someone must have called her. "Elena, be reasonable. Derek made a mistake. Marriage is about forgiveness." I set my wine down. "Patricia, did you know that for 15 years, every Christmas, I sent anonymous donations to the homeless shelter you volunteer at? $20,000 annually. The shelter named a wing after an anonymous donor 5 years ago. That was me. The waitress you thought was beneath your son funded the charity work you take credit for." Her face went pale. "I've canceled the donations, by the way. I'll be supporting other charities now, ones that help women leaving toxic marriages." Derek's hands trembled. "What happens now?" "Now, you find a new job. You find a new apartment. You sign the divorce papers my lawyer sent. And you learn that people aren't worth what they earn. They're worth how they treat others when they think those others have nothing. Are you really going to take the house? I have nowhere to go." I thought about it. About him packing my suitcases. About Patricia opening the door like I was a dismissed servant. About 15 years of condescension and mockery. "You have 72 hours to vacate," I said. "Same timeline you gave me. Pack your things. I'll have movers there on day 4 to remove anything you leave behind." "Elena, we're done, Derek. We've been done for years. I just needed to confirm who you were when you thought you had the power. Now we both know." He left with his mother, both of them smaller somehow, like they'd physically shrunk. The waitstaff had watched the whole thing in silence. After they left, my favorite waitress, Carmen, approached. "Boss? Was that really your husband?" "Ex-husband," I said. "Soon, officially." "Did you really throw him out like he threw you out?" I finished my wine. "Yes." "That seems harsh. I'd been waiting for this. The judgment. The 2 wrongs don't make a right lecture. But Carmen surprised me. "Good," she said. "Some people only learn through consequences, and consequences look a lot like karma." The divorce finalized 3 months later. Derek fought for spousal support, claiming he'd been dependent on my income without knowing it. The judge laughed him out of court. I got the townhouse, sold it, and donated the proceeds to domestic violence shelters. Derek found work eventually, as a server at a corporate cafeteria. I heard he's decent at it. He uses the Fresh Table platform for inventory management, which means he sees my name on the software every day. I hope it stings. Madison married her venture capitalist 6 months later. I was invited to the wedding, oddly enough. Richard Henderson and I had become friendly through business. I declined the invitation but sent a gift. A donation in Madison's name to a financial literacy program for women. The card read, "Wishing you better judgment in all things." Patricia tried to contact me once, asking for money. She'd co-signed Derek's lease for his studio apartment, and he defaulted. I sent her a response through my lawyer. "I'm not an ATM for people who treated me like a servant. Best of luck." People ask if I regret how I handled it, if I should have been kinder, more forgiving, more Christian about the whole thing. Maybe they're right. Maybe revenge doesn't suit anyone. But here's what I know. Derek didn't divorce me because we grew apart. He didn't leave because of irreconcilable differences. He left because he thought I was poor, powerless, and disposable. He calculated my worth in dollars and found it lacking. His cruelty wasn't an accident or a mistake. It was a choice based on perceived power dynamics. So I made a choice too. I chose to let him experience exactly what he'd inflicted on me. Exactly 72 hours of fear, uncertainty, and humiliation. Does that make me cruel? Perhaps. Does it make me human? Absolutely. I still work at Bella Vista sometimes, not because I have to, but because I want to. I own 3 restaurants now, all using Fresh Table's platform. I serve tables occasionally to remind myself where I came from and what I built. When customers treat me poorly because I'm just a waitress, I smile and think about Derek. Last week, a man snapped his fingers at me to get my attention. His date looked embarrassed. "Don't be rude, honey," she said. "That's disrespectful." "She's a waitress," he said. "It's her job." I refilled his water with a smile. It is my job tonight. Tomorrow, I'll be back to running my company. But thank you for the reminder that character isn't about what you do. It's about how you treat people when you think they can't touch you. He left a 40% tip. Sometimes people learn. Derek never did. 6 months after the divorce, I received a letter from him. Not through lawyers, but handwritten, mailed to my business address. It was 3 pages of apologies, explanations, and pleas for a second chance. He said he'd been in therapy. He said he understood his mistakes. He said he'd changed. I filed it in my desk drawer without responding. Some chapters close, some doors lock, some mistakes cost more than you can ever repay. I'm not the villain in this story, but I'm not entirely the hero either. I'm a woman who was underestimated, who built an empire in secret, and who chose consequences over forgiveness when the time came. History can judge me however it wants. But on those nights when I lie in my penthouse, looking at the San Francisco skyline, I sleep soundly. Because I know this truth. I didn't destroy Derek's life. I just stopped protecting him from his own character. And sometimes, that's the most powerful revenge of all. He was dead wrong about me. I already owned everything he thought he'd inherit, and by the time he learned the truth, it was too expensive to forget.